Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Maths Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. Okay, and we're going straight to the second rule now, or the second mechanism, which is the power rule with a constant. Um, like I always say, if you've not subscribed, shared, or liked, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please do so. And please don't forget to click on the notification bell so when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. All right. Before you come to this mechanism, please make sure you've reviewed the previous video on power rule and know how to do it. So in power rule, just a quick reminder. So in the power rule, I explained to you how to differentiate if you have y is equal to x raised to power n. Okay, so I told you how to do this, where you said that the y over the x for this is going to be, you bring down the n, so it's going to be n multiplied by x, then it'll be n minus 1. So we solved this in the last video. All right, but we're not looking at power rule with a constant. Okay, and also before I go straight to that, I also said, and I've emphasized it, that you have to ensure that the question is in an index form before you start to differentiate. So please don't forget, always make sure the question is in an index form before you start to what? Differentiate. All right. So in the last video, we talked about the power rule, which was y is equal to x raised to the power n. Now, what we want to talk about in this video now is that what about if the index, okay, has a constant with it? So for instance, we are having it as y is equal to ax to power n. Okay? In this example, we solve question like y is equal to x raised to power 5 in the previous video. Now, what about if you have something like, with a constant, you have something like y is equal to, but instead of just x raised to power 5, maybe you have something like 6x raised to power 5. Are you seeing it? So now there is a constant in addition to the index. So basically, what we are talking about is that in this video, we want to differentiate y is equal to ax raised to power n for any value of what? For any value of a and what? N. So that means what we are saying is that we're trying to differentiate this, so you could have a could be positive, a could be negative, or n could be positive, n could be negative. So for instance, if you're given a question like y is equal to minus 5, x raised to the power minus 3, and you were told to differentiate this, or you were given y is equal to minus 4, x raised to the power 3, and you're told to differentiate this, or you're even given y is equal to 2 over 3, x raised to the power 5, and you were told to differentiate this. Okay, so how do you go about it? Because in this case, we're having the index and as well we're having a constant. All right, how do you do this? Now there are 3 rules or 3 steps. So remember, like I always say, I always give the rules or steps so that when you go back to revise your notes, you know how we solved it and you can visualize it better. Okay, so the first thing, similarly, you're going to bring down the power. Okay, so you're going to bring the power down like we did in the last video. But in this case, you're not just going to bring it down. You're going to still multiply the a with it. So you're going to use it to multiply what? A. So you're going to multiply the constant with the power when you bring it down. Then, like the last video on power rule, you then subtract 1, okay, from the power, which is the n, and use the new power. Then after you're done with that, the last thing you do is to what? Simplify, okay? Just to remind you, in the previous video, what we just did is that we just brought the n down and we subtracted 1 from the power, right? But in this case now, when we're having y is equal to ax raised to power n. Now, but what we are going to do when we want to differentiate is that we're going to bring the power down, okay? But we're going to multiply it with a. So it's going to become a multiplied by what? N. Are you seeing it? Then What we then do, we then subtract 1 from the power. Is that making sense? So that means this is now going to give us an x n minus 1. Are you seeing it? And that is what you get. So what you do, you bring n down and multiply it with a, then you subtract 1 from the power, and that's how you differentiate. So let's pick an example. So let's say we have something like, I'm going to pick some examples here for us to try. So we have, let's say we have y is equal to 2x raised to the power 3. Now we're going to differentiate it, the y in respect to x. So we're going to the change in y in respect to x. So you're going to bring the power down and use it to multiply a, right? So we're going to go, so it's going to become 2 multiplied by what? We're bringing the power down. Then the power we have there, we subtract what? 1. That is step 2. Are you seeing it? We subtract 1 from n and use the new power. So you bring the 3 down to multiply with 2 and you subtract 1 from that. And this will now give you 2 times 3 will give you 6. X raised to the power what? 2. And that will be the answer for that. Let's pick another one. So let's say we have y is equal to 3x raised to the power 2 over 3. We're differentiating. We're doing exactly the same thing. So regardless what the power is, if the power is positive, if the power is a fraction, it does not really matter. Like I said, the only thing you need to keep in mind is that it has to be in an index what? Form. All right? That is the only thing you need to keep in mind. And if you've not reviewed my video on the loss of index, please, you need to go back and review the video. And then you can understand the concept of index. Is that okay? So the same thing, we're going to have 3 multiplied by what? 2 over 3. Then x will now become 2 over 3 minus what? 1. Are you seeing it? So it'll be 3 multiplied by 2 over 3 and x 2 over 3 minus 1. So now we're going to multiply, and this is going to give you 2. 3 multiplied by 2 over 3 will give you 2x. 2 over 3 minus 1 will give you minus what? 1 over 3. And that will be the answer for this. Okay? Let me pick maybe 2 more. And see, so if you have y is equal to, let's have negative this time. Let's see, minus 3, for instance. And we are told to differentiate. So it's going to be dy over dx will be equal to the same thing. You take the power and multiply by the constant. So it will be 8 multiplied by minus 3. You're bringing it down. Then the power you have there, you subtract what? 1. Are you seeing it? And this is going to give you 8 times minus 3 will give you minus 24. Then to give you x minus what? 4. Okay. Let's see. I have time for one more. Let me just throw one here. So we have y is equal to 2x minus 4 over 3. The same thing. We see we're just repeating the same thing. So we're going to have the same thing. 2, you bring down the power to multiply the 2. So it'll be 2 times minus 4 over 3. And we now have x minus 4 over 3 minus 1. Are you seeing it? 2 times minus 4 over 3 will give you minus 8 over 3. And x minus 4 over 3 minus 1 will give you minus 7 over 3. And that will be the answer for that. Okay? All right. So that is it. So basically, when you are having a constant and a power, you bring down the power to meet the constant and you multiply it. And the power you have there, you just subtract what? 1. Then you simplify. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some exercises to try. So I want you to try these ones. So we have y is equal to 5x raised to the power minus 10. We have, let's say, y is equal to, let's say, 3x raised to the power 4. Let's throw a big number into this now. Let's say y is equal to 15x raised to the power 3 over 4. And let's say we have y is equal to 10x raised to the power 2. And in these questions, I want you to find the first derivative, the y over the x. Okay, so you can see all of them are in index form, so it's easy. All right, so you can try it. Put the answer in the comment section. or you can discuss with friends. And if you're not sure, you can send me an email and I'll get back to you. Is that okay? And that'll bring me to the end for power rule with a constant. All right, so we're going to go to the next mechanism in the next video, which will be how to differentiate a constant. Okay, how do you differentiate a constant? So for this, just always remember, when you are having a constant with the power rule, just multiply n and you subtract 1, all right? And that will bring me to the end. So if you've not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe and try as much as possible to practice more questions from the textbook. And if you encounter any questions that you're not really sure, please feel free to stop me or send me an email and I'll get back to you. All right. So like I said, try these questions and let me know. Put your answer in the comment section. If there's anyone you find difficult, just let me know and I'll get back to you. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so that when I post the next video on differentiating a constant, you'll be the first person to know. All right. So I'll see you soon. Have a nice day.